there was a lot of intense stuff for you to deal with, both as a character physically and emotionally, because the scene with the tooth was absolutely bonkers. And I'm curious for you as a performer what it was like actually filming that day and kind of A, keeping the intensity that high, but also just filming that sequence.
That was, I mean, well, that's fun. I mean, like the props and the, the fake blood and the tooth and all that stuff is, it's so cool. It's, there's the fourth grader in me just like loves all the gross stuff. But yeah, it was actually sort of a, I guess maybe it was like kind of a release for Noah in a lot of ways, and just sort of getting to just kind of like the scream after pulling it out is more about a lot of other things than just winning and defeating the tooth. And so yeah, it was a lot of fun. We it was I mean, we were in the jungle, so it was hot and it was really muggy, and oh god, it was an intense day. I think at that point we'd been like bopping around the jungle for like just days and days and days and days. So it was, yeah, that scene and a lot of the reactions you see are about about a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, and there is a really kind of gorgeous and heartbreaking conversation slash fight slash much needed release of tension as Noah and Emma are talking about their relationship and they're trying to figure out where they stand. In your mind, how important and needed was that moment? And also, how scared is he of kind of losing everything he thought he had in that moment as well?
uh I mean, I think he's really scared. I think that it's I feel like there is a Noah is okay with stability. He really craves it. He really likes it. Um, and he feels okay with being content, if not happy. And so, like, I feel like he's definitely scared from, honestly, from the beginning of the episode or beginning of the season, that they're in trouble. But he's like, well, if I don't say it, then it's not real. And if I keep biting my tongue, then we'll, live to see another day. And so, like, really sort of hashing some of those things out, and it's just it's really dangerous. And so I think he's, yeah, I think he's, yeah, he's probably as scared as he's ever been, like, is in regards to their relationship.
Well, and for him, what do you think the importance is of having that conversation before they take the next step into potentially finding whatever the heck it is that they're going to find? How important was it to at least start that conversation before they stepped into the figurative unknown?
Yeah, that is, I think that it's just, I mean, we're doing dumb stuff, like we're doing dumb stuff rather than sort out what we need to sort out. And I think it's a thing that he's sort of felt for a long time, that she doesn't even really like him. And he's trying to not take that personally. He's trying to give her room to grieve. But now we're crossing the Rubicon and we're courting real danger. And it's like, look, let's just talk about it. Let's just let's really unpack this, because I feel like in certain ways I'm along for this whole adventure, which I feel is a terrible idea, because I think that this is what she needs and this will get us back on track, because I see her eyes light up again. But even in all of that, I still feel the distance. I still feel like the pushing away, and like, why are you like hovering all over me? Why are you, like, you know, chasing me after I told you like to leave me alone, like all that stuff. And um, you know, it's like he feels like he's putting himself out there to be like, look, I'll if this is what you need, then this is what I will be for this time. And to still feel a kind of rejection in the midst of all that is like, it's like, yo, deeply, deeply, deeply out of my comfort zone right now, and it still seems to not be enough. Are we done? And so I think that's part of it, and I think that maybe he's never been the guy in the dynamic between the two of them to blow things up or to push the envelope in any way, because it's just like, if we can just kind of keep treading through this rough patch, we'll get to the other side of it. And I think they've probably had rough patches before, but I think that he needs to stay steady so she can wild out. And and here he is, like, trying to be supportive and trying to be steady, and she's uh she's pushing him away in the midst of it, in the midst of something that is like, you know like, honestly, just a bad idea. Something that's really bad to get involved with. And so it's like, I think it's, you know yeah, we should talk before we and deal with ourselves before we, like, get ourselves killed, is kind of what he's thinking.
Yeah. Well, and I was talking with Andy about the conversation that the characters have around the campfire and the kind of symbolism of everyone else except for Noah being kind of entrenched in the past. Whereas Noah, he says he wants, if he had the option, he would look forward a year and see where his relationship was. What advantages do you think there are for Noah being that character and being the one to kind of be in the present and wanting to look ahead, being versus kind of steeped in the past? Do you think that gives him any kind of leg up in these in the final hour as they kind of get to wherever they get to?
Uh, I I don't know. I mean, I think that maybe his being perhaps a bit more engaged with the present and being okay with the present, even if he's not necessarily happy with it, is I don't know if it gives him an advantage, but I do think it's probably a trait that keeps him from engaging in some reckless behavior of trying to recapture an old feeling. It's like, well, those feelings are gone now, and this is the new reality. Um, and so I think I think that's where he's at. I think that in a way that maybe everyone is sort of looking back at the past with these rose tinted glasses and wanting that back. And Noah's like, well, it's not coming back. So, like, what do we do with that? And it's not. I don't think he has the answer or anything like that. I don't think that he's like a sage or anything. I just think that he's, um, it's like he's just kind of like, wherever you go, there you are, and then I think that that keeps him from maybe the kind of longing and, like, the depression that I think can come from 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 nostalgia and looking backwards to when times were better. Because, I mean, like, sometimes you look back at those times and you romanticize them, but they weren't great. They were just, you just came through it. They basically had a happy ending if you're able to look back in certain regards with some fondness. Um, but maybe when you were actually in them, you didn't recognize them as the good times that they were.